Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and I've been seeing a lot of different videos where they do like an album versus album, or some channels call it Classic Album War or Album War. And I was thinking of doing something like that, so I'm just going to call it like versus, just to keep it simple. And I'm going to be talking about two different albums by the band Megadeth. So two of their best known, maybe like most people would say, will be two of their top albums. So I'm going to be talking about Rust in Peace and Countdown to Extinction. So let's talk about both of them and we'll see which one is the better album. So the first one is Rust in Peace. So this one came out September 24th, 1990. This is considered to be one of the best thrash metal albums of all time. This is like the ultimate technical thrash metal greatest album ever. So the greatest metal album ever, some people say. It's just 40 minutes of just non-stop technical thrash riffs, all of that. So this is also like the ultimate like Megadeth lineup with Dave Mustaine, Dave Ellefson, Marty Friedman, and Nick Menza. The song most of us know is Holy War's The Punishment Due. So this is kind of like a two-part song. It has like this really cool riff. You know, the opening riff, it's like super fast. It has like a breakdown in the middle. You hear like Marty Friedman playing that like Middle Eastern like riff. Then it goes into that breakdown, the heavy like those chords. The second part of the song it's talking about the Marvel Comics Punisher. You know, you hear the line, you know, they killed my wife and my baby, you know, with hopes to enslave me. You know, this is all talking about the Marvel Comics hero Punisher. On these songs are just packed with riffs. I mean, one song just has so many like 5, 6, or even like 10 memorable riffs like within one song. So we also have Hangar 18. This one starts off with the chords, you know, kind of like strumming the chords. Then it goes on the riff where he's kind of like moving up and down the neck. You know, talking about like the aliens and stuff, Area 51. But this is again another like super technical song. I mean, you read the lyrics, but there's not like a lot of like lyrics in the song. It is very technical. It's like packed with riffs, and just again, it's an amazing song, amazing thrash song. Countdown to Extinction, another great album. Again, has the same lineup with with Marty Friedman, Dave Mustaine, Dave Ellefson, Nick Menza. But what happened between? I'm holding this weird. So what happened between this and this? It was an album called The Black Album by Metallica. Now the Black Album was more of a stripped down album. You know, Metallica, it was still heavy, but it wasn't really like super thrash, but you know, it's a really good album. It's just the songs were a little more like simplified, a little more easier to digest. Megadeth thought that would be a good idea to do, so on this album it's a lot more stripped down, but the songs are just as good. Symphony of Destruction, for example. The riff is pretty simple. I mean, if you're a beginning guitar player, you could probably learn it pretty quickly. But again, it's catchy, you know, it's heavy, it still has that crunch, you know, really great song, Sweating Bullets. You know, this was on MTV, a very popular video with all like the Dave Mustaine. It talks about like kind of like the anxiety and, you know, mental illness and things like that. Skin of My Teeth. I mean, these are all like great like thrash songs. They're just like a little more easier to digest. This album is a lot more accessible. So another notable track is Foreclosure of a Dream, and I think that's probably Megadeth's first ballad, and I might be mistaken, but this is their 5th album, and it's more of like a thrash ballad, but it talks about like the foreclosing of the farms and the farmers. It has a clip from like George Bush's Read My Lips speech. So this also has a couple other cool songs. It has Cyclotron. This was about a Marvel Comics hero, Deathlock. It has Countdown to Extinction, about, you know, like how the world is dying, all that. Captive Honor, about prisoners. High Speed Dirt, which is about skydiving. So a lot of like different topics. But this is a more like accessible album. So I would say if you're not a metalhead, if you're not really a thrash head or whatever you want to call it, and you want to be introduced to the band, I would say this would be a good place to start, because it's really the perfect album, you know, just to get into Megadeth, you know, and then you could kind of like move on to their other albums. But what is the better album? For me personally, I would go with Rust in Peace, because I'm a metal fan. I love thrash music, and I love it, the fast, the heavy riffs, all out of like so many good riffs packed into this one album. But if you're somebody who is not a metalhead, I would say to go with this album, you know, Countdown to Extinction. It's really a good introduction to the band. The songs are catchier, the songs are still heavy, the riffs are still there. I mean, the songs are concise, the songwriting is still there. This is a great album, 10 out of 10 album. It's also a 10 out of 10 album. But for me, the winner is Rust in Peace, but with like a little like a side note that if you're new to metal, go with this one. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching my versus video. If you have any other suggestions for another versus video, you know, let me know down there in the comment section. I'll probably be doing more of them, but this is my first versus video. And other than that, let me here's some more recommendations. I'm going to link over there. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one.